Lost Faith monologue. Today's date is Tuesday, the 22nd of July, 2025. I think in my last monologue I was ranting about the social decay and lack of any morality in society. Things like men beating up women, calling it sport. Euthanising themselves, and did I mention full-term abortion now legal in the UK right up to the point of birth? So we're now sacrificing babies right up to that point. This is a death cult who love sacrificing babies as well as men and women. How far a baby is developed once it's in to the third trimester, its brain and its development and everything else. It's imagine the trauma that is being unleashed on that poor, defenceless, helpless baby. Yeah, it's still dependent on its mother for survival within the womb, but it's still a living baby. Why people can't get their head around this and they just don't care? Sacrificing babies, men beating women up, assisted, euthanasia. What's going on? Had a few things drop into my algorithms recently. Seems to be a few people talking about whether are people noticing that there's just something going on with people in general. Generally anger, lack of patience. And people are speculating around what it is. People just have no common courtesy. Well, this is just all coming to a climax. It hasn't happened suddenly. It'll be a combination of a few things, and there might have been a bit of acceleration in the last few years. To me, a key cause for lack of patience is stress, tiredness. The phrase ratty, I don't know if that's just a colloquial thing. You feel a bit ratty because you're tired, you're short-tempered, impatient. It's because you're tired. Or if you're stressed, if you've got too much on your plate, you're short-tempered. And obviously if you're egotistical, you haven't got any time for anybody else. If you've got a child's mentality, because your brain's never fully matured, developed and grown. You're so dumbed down through television, toxins, trauma, mindless entertainment, watching a television, rotting your brain, rotting your prefrontal cortex, living in the base consciousness of the reptilian mind. Fight or flight, constant fight or flight. Whatever drugs you're on, medication, whatever toxic crap you're eating in the food supply, whatever toxins are in your water supply. in the air, and the lines in the sky, and your brain is weak. These are weak people. Whatever toxins you've injected straight into your bloodstream through the PSYOP, 2020 PSYOP and 2021 arm assault. Maybe you've got regrets, conscious or subconscious, because you know it was fucking stupid and you've been duped and you're angry. And you see the state of your country being completely dismantled intentionally, and you're losing faith. Been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. Welcome to the club. Now do something about it. Sort yourself out. Losing faith. If you look up just what it means, and obviously what the phrase means, but also psychological impacts it can have when someone's in this mindset. Anger. And people are searching for some sort of explanation. It's blatantly obvious to me. And the traumatic events of the 2020 PSYOP, it was a complete criminal act conducted by corrupt criminals, enabling it in government, getting their orders top down in lockstep, in goose step, completely trampling all over your natural human rights, if it's natural, and it's abused, i.e. taken away when they've got no right. It's going to have an impact, a traumatic impact. You can cover that up in, grin and bear it, keep calm and carry on is the English way. Yeah, bury the trauma and pretend it never happened, never talk about it and never deal with it. What's that trauma doing? It needs to be dealt with. And that on top of all the other traumas and all the toxins and all the stress. People's lives are manic. I can't cope with too much going on in my life. I like calm. I can cope with stress. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. I can cope with stress. Obviously, a little bit of stress isn't a bad thing. But I like calm as well. And calm for me is not sitting in front of the telly rotting my brain like a zombie. It's just everything's in order. But the way I see some people's lives, they're just, get up, kids to school, organise this, organise that, get to work, deal with work, do this at lunchtime, get home, pick the kids up, drop them off at whatever club, go and do this, go and do that, get the kids, make the tea, and then eventually mong out some Edward Bernays propaganda on Netflix. open your mind in a hypnotic state and swallow up the absolute guff coming out of that MK Ultra weapon. And a lot of either haven't got time or patience. They're traumatised, they're poisoned, they're weak, and they've lost faith. 49%, I think, check this, 49% of people didn't vote in last election. That's not 49% of people who are awake. I've already talked about this, or who are fully aware. That's just 49% of people have lost faith. 49% of people are angry. 49% of people don't care or apathetic. 49% of people wouldn't even hold the door open for you. Haven't got any time or patience for you. Just think you're scum on the bottom of their shoe. You can take that statistic and apply pretty much anything to it. Simple fact is, people are ignorant. They've got no knowledge. They've got no idea how the world works, and they've got no idea how nature works. They are satanic in their mindset, and they think they are God and the world revolves around them. Now think about it like a child. Now think about it. If you think the world revolves around you, you're not going to be polite to people. You're not going to hold the door. You're not going to have patience and understanding, care and compassion, because you're a Satanist. De facto, by your actions, you are a Satanist. And it's just, all that's happened is it's just ramped up recently because everybody had a period, for all it was traumatic, and we were being abused, like in an abusive relationship. People who just ignored the abuse, they just had the life of Riley. Not everybody, a lot of people had the life of Riley. Paid for sitting at home, watching propaganda on Netflix, working from home, dossing about half the time. Or when they did go out, the roads were empty and they loved it. A family member of mine quoted us saying, I like lockdown because the roads are quiet. You fucking satanic, mindseted, selfish, immoral trash. No thought or empathy, consideration for what other people are going through. Meanwhile, people are taking themselves out permanently of the realm. Children. I know I've said this before. Personally, know somebody whose son was 16, took himself out of the realm due to the abuse that was being inflicted. And you're happy though, because the roads are fucking quiet. People's business has been destroyed, will never have recovered to the same level. Huge wealth transfer to the sick, psychopathic, fucked up, deranged, broken species that call the shots. Huge wealth transfer. So anyway, where was I? Obviously, things have had to move back to something that they think is normal, these people. And it's like having a big holiday and then going back to work. Of course it's going to make people angry. And then when they've gone back, things are getting worse and worse and worse. They're being bombarded with propaganda, war, nonsense from the pride community, and inflation, which they're getting blamed for. The cost of living. Do you know how demonic that phrase is? The cost of living. It's not. It's the cost of lockdown. It's the cost of your completely erratic, on the face of it, erratic and ridiculous policies and money printing, paying everybody to do nothing during the PSYOP. That causes inflation, and it's the cost of lockdown, right? So what they've done is they've inverted it. It's the cost of living. This is just what you need to pay to live. No, you shouldn't have to pay anything to live. Everybody should be able to live and have what they need, right? Cost of living. It makes it sound like, well, you live this way, so this is the cost that you have to pay. You live, that's the price. And it's got the connotations that it's because it's the way that we live, things are going up. It's blaming us. They always subtly blame us. Just like all of the nonsense 2020, in and out of lockdowns, different tiers, follow the rules, you'll get rewards. Everything's blamed on us. It's not our fault. We've just got the signs. You've got the action. You do the right action, you get out of this complete emotional blackmail, guilt tripping, fear, obligation and guilt, mind control. But they always blame it on us because they're psychopaths, sociopaths. The system is sociopathic. It will always blame you when things go wrong. That's what a sociopath does. So, of course, people are angry. And what this poison is doing to their brains, we know it affects the heart. And we know it can spread to places like the ovaries, the testes, can cross the blood-brain barrier, and God knows what it's doing in there. Now, on that subject, I read just the other day in the mainstream lying media that they've got a new purpose for the weight loss jab. So that's already a recategorised drug used to treat diabetes, I believe. Now it's been recategorised to screw up people's digestive system enough that they'll lose weight. And now they're exploring the idea that one of the ingredients of this drug can be utilised to treat migraines, people with persistent migraines. Now, apparently they've accidentally discovered this because when they were doing the weight loss trials, there was an observation where people who generally suffered migraines suffered them less during the trials. Oh, what a coincidence. So you can now, I don't know how they're going to administer this particular ingredient, whether it will be injected into your bloodstream, well, not into your bloodstream, into your arm, whatever. Or whether it will be consumed orally I don't know, but at the end of the day, something I'm hearing a lot about, just anecdotal, is people suffering really bad migraines. My boss went to hospital, and I've heard this before, went to hospital for a really bad migraine. I've never ever, this is just my experience, I've never known anybody go to hospital for a migraine. So what's causing the migraine? And our headaches. I bet you one of the symptoms of a headache is short temper, anger. I never get headaches. Very, very, very rarely. But when I say very rarely, I can't even remember. I know I've had a headache before, but nothing pain. It's not like painful. It's like I don't even know if I have. I'm struggling to even describe what one is. But anyway, I know certainly I know what a hangover is, and it gives you a bad head. And when you're in that sort of condition, can you just be quiet, please? Can you just stop banging that? Stop making that noise. Stop talking. Can you just, you're short-tempered. So, this accumulation is what's making the people so short-tempered and angry. They're just impatient and egotistical. They're completely egotistical people. They don't want to listen to anything. They're attached to their own beliefs and truth. Their own beliefs and opinions are the truth. And if you question them, even just trying to teach them something different, they get angry because their ego is out to defend, because their brains are imbalanced and they haven't got any rational thinking. Like zombies, that front part of the brain, frontal cortex, isn't functioning because the brain is completely imbalanced. All that's functioning is logic and ego. Very basic logic, i.e. being able to put one foot in front of the other. Something else I was thinking about. So the occult believe, as do some astrologists, believe that we're entering a new age, the age of Aquarius, round about this time. It's not anything definite about when it will occur, but it's round about this time. We may already starting to see the shift. It's round about 2,100 years. Again, look this up. 2,100 years, and it comes in after the age of Pisces. We're currently in the age of Pisces, which is represented by Christianity, which is represented by the year, the calendar. So, AD, year 1 AD, we're in 2025 AD, so we're 2025 years into the age of Pisces. That's when the calendar started, but I don't think it's possible to actually pinpoint exactly when the stars shifted and it was formally the age of Pisces according to the star system. So a lot of people believe we're in the shift, and the age of Pisces is represented by two fish, and Jesus fed the world with two fish. Christianity is, the symbol of Christianity is the fish, The Bible is full of zodiac references. It's an occult science book, a manual to the stars system, and allegories for enlightenment and growth. It's not a literal story. It's not a literal explanation of something that happened. It's full of allegory. Whether Jesus was a real person who was nailed to a cross is not the topic I'm debating at this point. The subject. I'm talking about the Bible and what it is. So the Son of God, the sun in the sky, was born on the 25th of December, because this is when the sun starts to move out of the tomb of the southern hemisphere. It's at its lowest point during the winter solstice. It's dead. The influence of the sun is dead. It's gone. And the winter solstice lasts for around 3 days. Sun doesn't shift for 3 days. Then on the 25th, the sun rises 1 degree. And all of a sudden, the sun is moving, it's born. It's coming back. It's the 25th of December is the birth of the sun in the sky. The Son of God. God is in the heavens. The sun is just there in the sky. The sun is what gives us life. The sun is what feeds us. The sun is what gives us energy. The sun is representative of light, goodness, and that's what the Christ figure represents, the sun. The sun is then enters its journey on the 25th December, enters its journey back into the northern hemisphere, and at the equinox, spring equinox, it is exactly halfway in terms of, it's on the equator, exactly on the equator. So it's almost born now, it's almost fully resurrected, it's almost here. And Easter is the first Sunday following, let me get this right, the first Sunday following hold on, bear with us. The first Sunday following a full moon, which follows the equinox. That's when Easter is. Why is that? Because at the equinox, it needs one final push by the divine feminine. The birth has one final push by the moon goddess. The female energy gives the sun one last push, and it is fully born, fully reborn, resurrected. And that's the Sunday, because that's sun's day. Follows the full moon. The feminine energy is at its fullest, following the equinox. That's what Easter is. It's then, later on in its journey, it goes through all of the helpers that help the sun across the sky, help the sun make its journey. 12 followers, 12 signs of the zodiac. Each follower assists the sun across the sky. If you have one of those apps on your phone, and during the daylight, one of those apps that points at the constellations and tells you what they are in real time. Pointed at the sun, we are currently in, I believe we're in Leo now. So what you'll see, if you point your phone at the sun, you'll see Leo helping it across the sky. And each follower or disciples has its own characteristics, as did the disciples of the Son of God. The many allegories in the Bible are to do with the zodiac, the zoo in the sky, the kingdom in heaven, the animal kingdom in heaven. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven, as above, so below. What happens up there happens down here. That's your navigation through life. It's your navigation through the physical world. It's what they used to use to navigate on the seas. It's a navigational system, physical and spiritual. The full moon, for example, it's well documented that rests increase during full moons, but no, it doesn't have any effect on us. The system in the sky doesn't have any effect on us. So when the sun comes to Scorpio, it is now starting to lose some of its power. And it's stung by the tail of Scorpio, and it then starts its actual descent into the tomb, into death. The sting of the tail in Scorpio, it has two pincers, and the sting, or the bite, it would leave what looked like a bite mark, or lip, like two lips. That's what the sting of the scorpion would look like. The ones with two pincers, it would look like a kiss of death. That's Judas. Now think about it. Why the hell would Judas have to kiss a man? This is a man he's roaming around in a very small area with only a few people. He's claiming to be the king, and he's anti-establishment. He's calling out the religions. He's calling out the bankers. He's calling out the lawmakers. He's completely anti-establishment. He's a dissident. That's what he's arrested for. Do you not think that everybody knows who he is? What, nobody needs to kiss him. It's him over there, thinking he's Messiah. People take this literally because they're so mind controlled in their dogma. So anyway, the Bible says that it's believed Judas is possessed by Satan at the time of the kiss. Which will be a reference to the planet Saturn. Because Saturn is the ruling planet. He was possessed by the rulers, corrupted. His loyalty was corrupted. Anyway, when the sun, it's now destined for death after the kiss of death by Scorpio, and just before it enters, it So it's entering Capricorn just before, I think it's just before, it enters Capricorn, which is ruled by Saturn. That's your Roman authority figure, Saturnalia. That's who they worshipped. And that was the authority, the discipline, a woman behaving like a man with no care or compassion. That's what Saturn is. Eats his own children as well, I think, have I got that right? So anyway, just before it enters Capricorn, which is ruled by Saturn, the sun hangs on a constellation known as Crux, or the Southern Cross. It's a cross in the sky, and the sun hangs on it. It might be during the solstice when it does that. It's hanging on that cross. Anyway, that's where the crucifixion comes from. Obviously put to death by the Saturnian cult. That's the story, and it's full of these little allegories. So whoever wrote or translated or rewrote the New Testament, they obviously injected it. They injected it, or it always was, full of astrotheology. Whether or not Jesus was a real man who taught people morality, I'm not closed to that idea. But the Bible is a astrotheological, moral, scientific manual. So the astrotheology of the star system, the zodiac, this is what the occult believe in. So we're entering a new age, or a golden age, as Trump calls it, or a new era, or a great reset, or the fourth industrial revolution, as Klaus Schwab says. We're entering an angry world. That's because they know what's happening. They know exactly what's happening. Whether he knows, or whether he's occult overlords, puppet masters, or just telling them what to say. He's probably into the occult. But they know what's happening. And as Jesus said, again in the New Testament, when they're organising the Last Supper, and his followers say, "But where shall we hold this final great feast?" And Jesus says, "In the city, a man carrying a jug of water will greet you. Follow into that house." That's not like follow this guy, he's got a keg of beer, he knows where the party's at. This is the man with the jug is Aquarius, and his house is the zodiacal term for the house of Zodiac. It's Jesus, Pisces, telling you that he'll be with you till the end of an age. And once that age is finished, the man with the jug of water will take over. And they know this. And this huge, huge shift is where we are, where we're entering. And this huge shift of the stars is going to impact everything from obviously the stars and the points of the zodiac and how they align with calendars. So the age of Pisces, when the sun is being born, when it's on the equator, when it's in the equinox, the spring equinox is when it's being born, and that's towards the end of Pisces. So it's Pisces which gives birth. That's why we're in the age of Pisces. So now when the sun is being born, it's going to be born in the age of Aquarius. The equinox is going to be at the end of Aquarius. Oh, right. Well, it's right at the end of Pisces, so I'm guessing it's moved gradually, so it's going to shift very slowly. And you'll start to see the sun being born at the very beginning of Aquarius. I'm guessing that's what we'll see as we shift into this age, and that whole going from the beginning to the end of that zodiac sign in the equinox. Start at the beginning and it eventually comes to the end. That whole shift takes 2,150 years or whatever. And so Pisces is the two fish. Now the fish, if you look at them, they're like the yin and the yang. And the yin and the yang is duality. It's black and white. It's good and evil. Which is obviously people see that as a religious connotation, don't they? Good and evil. It represents duality, hot and cold. Obviously, there's the everything in nature, just about has the two opposite ends. Everything's the same. It just has variations. So, some things are yin and yang, male and female, men and women. The masculine energy and the feminine energy. Whereas morality, black or white, it's either right or it's wrong. You can't have anything in between. Whereas Aquarius is androgynous. Sometimes depicted as a man, sometimes depicted as a woman. And the character of Aquarius is an androgynous character. And obviously carrying a jug of water. Water is fluid. It flows. It's fluid. Gender, fluid. And I believe this is why this gender fluidity agenda is being pushed from the top down. Because these 6 psychopaths know we're going into a new age, and they're trying to force their belief systems onto us using the hidden energies that they're aware of to try and force their agendas, and to help usher in their golden age, which is the annihilation of humanity, human 2.0, transhumanism. There are no genders. Complete destruction of Christianity. This is why Christians, this is why you need to understand, this is why you're being attacked, because they've got to get rid of old religion as we enter the new age, because your religion has got nothing to do with what you think it's got to do with. It's astrotheology. And we are entering a new theological era. This is why everything feels like the tribulations and revelations, because it's being orchestrated intentionally. It's probably part natural and part being orchestrated. You know, like they can manipulate weather. They can't exactly control the weather. They can kind of use what's coming and amplify it. They can amplify the end of the era. Everybody's going mad. Hence, we're entering a mad phase. And they're going to try and use this shift where everybody is just going through a change, because this is going to have a huge effect on the psychology, and all of the systems are failing, all of the politics is crumbling, and this is the effect. This is the natural effect of a huge shift in the heavens. And they're going to try and utilize it to usher in the Antichrist, and then help give birth to a new era. The Antichrist, it doesn't mean they're against Christ. It means they try to take the place of Christ. That's what it means in biblical terms. They're going to step in as if they are some sort of saviour and Christ figure, like Donald Trump, saved by God to make America great again. God came down from heaven, stopped the bullet, because he is the Antichrist. He is trying to take the place of Christ as if he's God's chosen one. How people can't see this? Well, they can't see it because they're totally ignorant. They've got no knowledge and they don't understand anything. But that's what I think's going on in terms of the current human condition.